Very warm greetings to everyone. Hi, I am Jaishree of BLLB 8A and I'm here to present my IPR Intellectual Property Rights assignment, and the topic for the same is role of IPR in the media industry of India and the Copyright Act. I have divided my presentation in the four parts. First, introduction, where I'm going to provide a basic introduction like what is intellectual property and what is copyright, like what it plays or how it plays a vital role in the media industry. Next, I would move on to the copyright. The next part of my presentation is copyright, like what is copyright, focusing only on copyright and the laws prevailing in India for the copyright. Next, we move on to the infringement, like um, how infringement takes place in the copyright. And last but not the least, the fourth part is punishment. If somebody infringe or violates the other person rights, then what are the punishments mentioned under the laws? Okay, now starting with the media industry and the intellectual property. So with the introduction, I would like to start like media. What is the media's industry's vital asset? Yes, it's intellectual property, right? Which is protected by different types of intellectual property rights. Like one of them can be copyright, other can be trademark, patents, designs, etc. The copyright and its role in the media industry is what we are focusing on. So it highlights copyright and its associated issues in the media industry and the entertainment industry. Now, what is IPR? Intellectual property right. So, now moving on to the concept, like what is IPR? So, intellectual property rights are given to a person over the creation of mind, something which is created by the intellect of a person, and exclusive, usually given to the creator right over the use of their creation for the certain period of time. IPR recognizes creation of a mind as a property in the sense it expands the meaning of property. The term property commonly gives a recognition position of a person or enterprise over something, right? Property is divided into two basic forms. One is tangible and the other is intangible. Tangible property is present in physical forms such as building, house, land, vehicle, cash, jewelry, etc. Whereas intangible property cannot be seen in physical form. Right. With the march of time, we have developed system and law which defends the tangible property, but earlier it was not possible to protect the available non-physical forms of the property. So, IPR provides the protection of such properties and recognize the possession of a person or an enterprise over it. It helps people to garner benefits out their efforts devoted to create or develop a new intellectual product. Okay, intellectual property rights are like any other property rights. They allow creators or owners or patents, trademarks, copyrighted work, or to benefit from their work, from their own work or invented in a creation. Among all the other rights of intellectual property, copyright are considered as a backbone of the film industry. Copyright protect the rights of creator owners by preventing the unauthorized use of their original work. Now, copyright, which is according to Oxford Dictionary, defines a copyright as exclusive legal right given to the originator for a fixed number of years to print, publish, perform, film, or record literacy, artistic, or musical material. Now, moving on to the Copyright Act. One more thing I want to add is which is copyright can be considered a bundle of rights. Now, moving on to the Copyright Act. So, copyright. It provides the exclusive right to author or producer over the select creations which is originated by them. Copyrights give owner right on making copies, license, and use of work in the other manner. In some exceptions, on some products, if used for research and private exhibitions, then in that case it can be exhibited. Now, copyright is a right given by the law of to creators to literacy, dramatic, musical, and artistic work, and the producers of cinematograph, films, and sound recordings. In fact, it is a bundle of rights, including inter alia, the rights of reproduction, communication to the public, adaptation, and translation of the work. There could be slight variations in the composition of rights depending upon the work. Under the copyright provisions, exclusive rights are granted to the author to create an original work that includes right to copy, distribution, and adaptation of original work. Okay, copyright covers literacy, works such as novel, poems, and plays, films, music, artistic works, etc. Drawings, painting, photographs, and sculptures and artistical designs can also come under the Copyright Act. The rights related to copyright include those performing artists in the performances, producers of phonograms in their recordings, and the broadcast in their radio and TV programs. That's why I have earlier said that copyright is a bundle of rights. Now, if we talk about the laws which are pertaining or which are related to copyright, then, Indian Copyright Act provides the protection to the following seven clauses of work: original literacy work, original dramatic works, original musical work, original artistic works, cinematograph films, and sound recordings and the computer programs. Copyright gives owner right to making copies, license, or use of the work in the other manners, with some exceptions on some products if it is used for the research and private exhibition, which I have earlier discussed as well. Copyright provides multiple rights to some work, same work, normally referred as a bundle of rights, which I have also discussed earlier, right? Now, moving on to the next slide, which talks about copyright registration. Now, copyright registration, how we can do it and when and where, etc. etc. If we talk about the copyright registration, then acquisition of the copyright is an automatic right, like, and it does not require any formality. Okay, copyright comes into the existence as soon as your work is created and no formality is required for acquiring copyright. However, a certificate of registration of copyright and the entries made therein serve a prima facie evidence in the code of law with reference to a dispute relating to the ownership of copyright. Okay, now moving on to the copyright infringement. Okay, now infringement of copyright is explained in chapter 11 of the Act 2012. It includes knowingly communicating work of the others to the public for profit sales or gifts for hire distribution for the purpose of trade and import in India for profit. Infringement of copyright and the media industry. IPR is an important factor in the growth of media industry. Okay, and in and also in the entertainment sector, media is a field of creativity that entertains, informs, educates millions of peoples worldwide. Right? Technology has made simple the copying and the reproduction of other works in any format. Okay, act of infringement not only discourage the original contributors or the authors to produce more creative work, but also harms their earning possibilities just because somebody else is stealing their work and selling them for their profit. Infringement of copyright found in different media in different ways. Pirated movies can be the one. Now, moving on to the next slide, if we talk about the script, like from script to a giant screen, IPR shapes each and every stage and step of filmmaking journey as the whole film industry runs on the creativity and the vision of filmmakers, from dialogues to cinematograph, from songs to titles of film. Infringement of copyright of cinematograph film has been a serious issue for the film industry. Due to the piracy of films, the whole part of it, producers have faced huge loss. Film piracy in India accelerated after coming a video cassette. Now, if we talk about the sound recordings and their copyright infringement, India's sound recording industry faced problems of infringement in many ways, like copying, reproducing matching products, bootlegging, reproduction of work without consent. After coming of digital media, infringement of recordings become more easier, and frequency of the such illegal activities have been increased in multiple times. Now, if we are going to move on punishments which are prescribed under the law for the infringement of copyright. There are two types of punishments which are mentioned under the law. The first is penalty, and the second is imprisonment. In case of infringement, any person who is doing it knowingly may be punished with a fine, which shall not be less than 50,000, but which may be extended to 2 lakhs. And if we talk about the imprisonment, then imprisonment for a term which shall be not less than 6 months, but which may be extended to 3 years. Okay, now I'm going to conclude my topic on the good note that if we see for media industry which is full of creativity and innovation, the copyright is an eminent catalyst. Media platforms including social media, use of new ideas, images, sounds, scripts and many more means, and the methods of communication, professional, commercial and the personal use or the purpose, all these forms that are created by a person and enterprise within meticulous efforts in designing, researching, developing, which needs a huge amount of investment also. These creations created or developed after the devotion of time, money, need to give a dividend to the creators and to become a reason for encouragement for all. Copyright laws helps in protection of interest of such creators. The presentation tried to highlight the copyright and its associated issues in India media industry and the entertainment industry. Now I would like to conclude my topic on a good note that copyright provides certain minimum safeguards to the creators over their creation, and by extending the legal protection, creativity is rewarded to the creators who are creating and innovating new things. Their rights need to be protected, and their rights needs protection from the attempts of infringement. The law takes care of that particular part, because the law part take care of the punishment if the copyrights are violated, if the copyrights are violated. Thank you so much.